Hello, today we are doing ISC2 Certified in Cybersecurity. Continuation. Question number 30. Let's see. Which of the following is not a feature of a cryptographic hash function? Answers. Deterministic, unique, useful, reversible. To be honest, I have no idea. Reversible. I will ask Chad to explain why reversible. Please explain each answer. Boom. I am not that good at cryptographic hash yet. Still learning. Okay. Deterministic means the same input will always produce the same hash output. Okay. Hashing hello with SHA 256 will always give the same hash. This is a feature because reliability is key. Unique, meaning different inputs should ideally produce different outputs. Hello, create very different hashes. Unique, different inputs. Right. Useful, meaning hash functions serve practical purposes like digital signatures, file integrity checks, password storage. Useful hash functions serve practical purposes. Digital signatures, file integrity checks, password storage. Okay. Example, verifying a downloaded file by comparing its hash with the vendor's published hash. This is a feature. Hash functions are widely used in cybersecurity. Deterministic, it's always the same hash. Unique, different word, different input should produce different output, different hash. Useful, hash functions serve practical purposes like digital signatures. Useful, digital signatures, integrity checks, password storage. Okay, and reversible, being able to reconstruct the original input from the hash. Cryptographic hashes are one-way functions. Okay, I knew this, I just didn't know they are asking about that in the question. Now I know cryptographic hashes are one-way functions. You cannot reverse them to get the original message. You cannot take EF92B778 and get password 123 back. Summary. This is not a feature because hashes are one-way, reversible. It's not reversible. Hashes are not reversible. Question number 31. The requirement of both the manager and the accountant to approve the transaction fund exceeding 5,000. Which security concept best suits this? MEG, defense in depth, two-person integrity, principle of least privilege. The requirement of both the manager and the accountant to approve the transaction fund exceeding 5,000. Which security concept? Two-person integrity? Yes, that's the right choice. Two-person integrity. Explain shortly. It means no single person has full control over a critical action. At least two people must approve to prevent fraud or mistakes. A bank requires both the manager and the accountant to sign off before releasing 50,000 Oh, it's 50,000, not 5,000. Okay. There was no comma here, and I just didn't read another zero. Which one of the following controls is not particularly effective against the insider threat? Which one of the following controls is not effective? Firewalls, background checks, least privilege, insider threat, firewalls. Because the insider threat is already inside, right? So firewall does nothing. But what about background checks? What about background checks? How does background checks relates to the internal threat, insider threat? If it's inside, background check doesn't do nothing, doesn't do anything. Okay, firewalls mainly protect against external. That's true. By blocking or filtering traffic from the outside, insiders already have authorized access. Right. Background checks. These are effective against insider threats. Why? They help screen out people with risky histories. Yes, but if the threat is already inside, how the background check will help them? I understand they help screen out people with risky histories, fraud, criminal records before they are hired. But note, they only reduce the likelihood of hiring a malicious insider. Exactly. They can't prevent a trusted employee from later turning bad. Exactly, that's what I said. That's why I thought the background check is like, it's not gonna help. Least privilege, yes. Separation of duties. Least privilege limits insider damage, right? By giving only the access they need. Separation of duties ensures no one insider has full control, reduces fraud misuse. Firewalls not effective against insiders. Best versus outsiders. Somewhat effective background checks. Prevent risky hires. Least privilege. Separation of duties. Very effective. Limit insider abuse. Next question. Which of the following is not social engineering technique? Pretexting, baiting, quid pro quo, double dealing. Double dealing. I have to check each answer. Quid pro quo. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Explain each, and let me know how to pronounce the nuance. Oh no. Pronounce. How to pronounce quid pro quo, because I want to know. Quid pro quo. Okay, said like quid pro quo. Okay, that's all. Okay, so pretexting, what it is: creating a false story or identity to trick someone into giving information. Example: pretending to be from IT support and asking for an employee's password to fix their account. Baiting, what it is: luring someone with something attractive to get them to take unsafe action, leaving an infected USB drive labeled salary info in the office parking lot, hoping someone plugs it in. This is a social engineering technique. Quid pro quo, offering something in exchange for information or access. An attacker calls pretending to be tech support, offering free help if the victim gives login credentials. Free help to be tech support. This is a social engineering technique. Something for something. Quid pro quo. This for that. Okay. Double dealing. This is more of a general deception term. Cheating two sides at once. Okay. Not a recognized social engineering category in cybersecurity. It's not a social engineering. Double dealing. Next question. What is the process of verifying a user's identity called? Authorization, right? No. Authenticity, authentic. Right. Authentication. Huh. Not authorization. I was close. Process of verifying the user is called authentication. Authenticate, like being an authentic person, being an honest person, being yourself, being authentic. Authenticate. Next question. The mitigation of violations of security policies and recommended practices. The mitigation of violations of security policies and recommended practices. DR, disaster recovery. IR, incident response. Threat hunting, incident response. Wait. There is 2 times incident response. It's IR and then it's incident response. It's the same. Okay, so it's the incident response is the right answer, but how is that different from IR? How is D different from B? To me, it's like incident response and incident response. Exactly. The question is asking in plain language, and typically exams prefer the full name over the acronym when both are listed. This is the abbreviation for incident response. So there is no real difference in meaning. The mitigation of violations of security policies. Now answer why. Why this is correct? The correct answer. So incident response is exactly about handling and mitigating security violations like breaches, malware, unauthorized access, detecting them, containing them, eradicating them, and recovering systems. Why not the others? Disaster recovery focuses on restoring IT systems after a major disaster, fire, flood, data center crash, not on handling policy security violations. IR, same meaning as incident response, but the test wants the full term. Threat hunting, about proactively searching for hidden threats before they cause issues, not about mitigating actual violations. So the answer is D. Comparing Yes, let's go. Why not? Let's compare. So, incident response main goal: detect, contain, mitigate security violations or incidents. Disaster recovery: restore IT services and data after a major outage disaster. Threat hunting: proactively search for hidden threats that evade detection. When used, IR: when a breach, malware, or insider misuse happens. Disaster recovery: after natural disasters, system crashes, or ransomware wiping out servers. Threat hunting: ongoing activity before an incident occurs. Example: responding to a phishing attack that led to an unauthorized email access, recovering data from backups after a data center fire. Threat hunting: an analyst searching logs for abnormal logging pattern that SIEM didn't flag. Abnormal logging pattern. Track hackers hunt quietly. Data restore after disaster. Stop the attack. Okay, next question. Often often offered by third-party organizations and cover specific advisory or compliance objectives. Often offered by third-party organizations, standard policy, procedure, laws, or regulations. Standards offered by third party. Why does okay, policy is within the company. Law or regulation are like from above. So standards, procedure is the steps how to do something. Standards are formalized rules, guidelines, or benchmarks that organizations can adopt. Oh, the third parties like ISO, NIST, IEEE. Okay. These third parties. I was thinking about like vendors. And I was thinking, vendors offer standards to the company? No. Okay, that makes sense. They focus on specific compliance or advisory objectives, meaning they tell you what you should do to meet certain security or quality levels, permitting unauthorized access to inform while protecting it from improper disclosure. Permitting authorized access to information while protecting it from improper disclosure. Integrity, confidentiality, availability. Or all. Either all or availability. Oh, confidentiality. Uh-oh. It tells me that I really need to study. Why confidentiality? Confidentiality, ensuring that information is accessible, not availability, only to authorized people. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. While preventing unauthorized disclosure. Why it fits? The question says permitting authorized access while protecting it from improper disclosure. Why not the others? Integrity protects data from being altered. What about availability? Ensures data and system are accessible when needed, but to authorized individuals is only in confidentiality. Okay. So, confidentiality. It's a good refresher. Good. I'm glad I made this mistake. So, actually, we learn more from making mistakes. Of course, we learn when we know something, but we also learn when we make mistakes. So, I'm glad I made that mistake. Question number 38. Which of the following types of vulnerabilities cannot be discovered in the course of a routine vulnerability assessment? Cannot be discovered. Of course, 0 day, right? Always the answer is 0 day. 0. Which of the following is often associated with DR planning, disaster recovery planning? Which of the following is often associated? Checklists, firewall, antivirus, all. I would say all or checklists. Okay, all. Which layer does VLAN hopping belong to? Oh boy, MAC is on the second layer. IP is wait. VLAN virtual local area network. I would say layer 3. Oh shoot, it's 2. Layer 2. Let's get this explanation to learn. Teach me, chat. Explain why. So, VLAN hopping is a layer 2 attack. Layer 2 deals with switching, MAC addresses, and VLAN tagging. VLAN hopping exploits how switches handle VLAN tags in Ethernet frames. The attacker tricks the switch into sending traffic to a VLAN they shouldn't have access to. How VLAN hopping works. Switch spoofing. Attackers pretend to be a switch by negotiating a trunk link with the real switch. This gives them access to multiple VLANs. Double tagging. Attacker inserts 2 VLAN tags into the frame. The first tag is stripped by the first switch, leaving the second tag intact, sending the frame into another VLAN. Why not the others? Layer 3 network deals with IP addresses and routing, not VLAN tags. Layer 4 transport deals with ports, TCP, UDP, not switching. Routing is on the layer 3. Layer 7 is application, so no, HTTP, DNS, Ethernet frames. Again, layer 2 deals with switching, MAC addresses, and VLAN tagging. VLAN hopping, switch spoofing. Attacker pretends to be a switch by negotiating a trunk link with the real switch. This gives them access to multiple VLANs. Double tagging attack. Attacker inserts 2 VLAN tags into the frame. I just want a short example of this. Please give me a short example. Simple. Super simple and with short. Okay, switch spoofing example. An attacker plugs their laptop into a port on the switch. They configure their laptop's network card to act like a switch and say, hey, I am a trunk port too. Let me join. The real switch believes it and opens trunk access. The attacker now sees traffic from many VLANs, not just their own. Double tagging. Attacker in VLAN 10 but wants to reach VLAN 20. They send a frame with two tags. Outer tag VLAN 10, outer tag, inner tag VLAN 20. The first switch removes the outer tag, thinks it belongs to VLAN 10 and forwards it. Now the second switch sees the inner VLAN 20 tag and delivers the traffic into VLAN 20. Attacker reaches a network they shouldn't. They send a frame. How? Switch spoofing, tricking the switch into giving you all VLANs, double tagging, sneaking into another VLAN by hiding an extra tag. Normal VLAN frame and Ethernet frames normally have one VLAN tag, 802.1q tag, that tells the switch which VLAN the traffic belongs to. Example, a frame from VLAN has a single VLAN 10. The attacker crafts a malicious Ethernet frame with two VLAN tags instead of one outer tag. VLAN 10, the VLAN they are already in. Crafts a malicious Ethernet frame. Inner tag VLAN 20, the VLAN they want to jump into. I would have to spend more time with this. A common network device used to filter traffic. Firewall. Yeah. Yep. Which of these is the weakest form of authentication we can implement? Something you know, something you are, something you have. Biometric authentications. Something you know. Why? Something you know. Like a password or PIN. Here is why. It can be guessed, stolen. Something you know? What about something you have? It can be stolen too. Users often choose weak passwords, making it easy for attackers. Even strong passwords can be leaked in data breaches or stolen by phishing. People also tend to reuse passwords across many accounts. Something you are. Biometrics, fingerprint, face, iris. Harder to steal, replicate. Something you have, token, smart card, phone app. It can be stolen. Attacker must physically possess it. Okay, so something you know, it can be guessed, but something you have, they would have to physically possess it. Biometric authentication, special case of something you are. Much harder to fake than a password. I understand now. What is the difference between BCP and DRP? Oh, it was a while when I was studying for it. BCP is about maintaining critical. Oh, this is just this BCP. Okay, it's not about the bridge. Okay, so BCP is business continuation plan. DRP, disaster recovery plan. So Disaster recovery plan is about restoring IT and communications back to full operations after a disruption, while business continuation plan is about maintaining critical business functions. What are the other answers? BCP is about restoring? No. DRP is the same as BCP? No. And BCP is about maintaining critical business functions before disaster? No. Maintaining critical business functions. Okay, next question. Why is the recovery of IT often crucial to the recovery and sustainment of business operations? Why is the recovery of IT often crucial to the recovery and sustainment of business operations? IT is not important to business operation. IT is often the cause for the disaster. IT can be easily recovered without any impact of business operations. Many businesses rely heavily on IT for their operations. Of course, the rest doesn't make even sense. The question is why this is crucial, and it says it's not, so it doesn't make sense. Which is the short form of IPv6 address? So this is the address. Okay, here is the address. So the short abbreviation is, we take the 0 from the beginning, we take those zeros, so it would be 2001 DB8 colon FFFF 0 4 zeros and hold on 4 zeros and 1. Let me see. Oh, okay, I understand now. So this is the correct answer. This is a refresher. I had that before, but when you are not using it, you lose it. So let's confirm why the short form of is. So we remove the first zeros. We must leave the last number, so at least 1 0 here, 1 here, and here is double colon. Remove leading zeros in each block, right? And then this turns into double colon. Replace the longest round of consecutive zeros with double colon. Okay. Alright, what security feature is used in HTTPS, IPsec, SSH, ICMP, SSL/TLS, and this is the last one, SSL/TLS, Transport Layer Security. A cybercrime in which the attacker floods a server, DDoS, right, with internet traffic to prevent users from accessing connecting online services and sites is this distributed denial of service, disruption of traffic, flooding flooding a traffic with the internet to prevent users. A company has implemented excuse me. Oh, a company has implemented mandatory access control for its confidential data. Which of the following statement is true? A company has implemented mandatory access control for its confidential data. Which of the following statements is true? The data can be accessed by users who possess a need to know. No. Access controls cannot be changed by anyone except the system administrator. The owner of the data can modify the access control. The system administrator can change the access control. I would go with D. Oops, it's not D. B. Access controls cannot be changed by anyone except... Yeah, that makes sense too. Access controls cannot be changed by anyone except the system administration. But D is very similar, to be honest. Like, the system administrator can change the access controls. Yes, he's the only one who can do it, right? D sounds similar. Sound very similar. Okay, mandatory access control. In Mac, users and data owners cannot change permissions, correct? Only the system administrator or security administrator, following strict organizational policies, can set and modify access controls. Why B is correct? B. Access controls cannot be changed by anyone. Access controls cannot be changed by anyone except the system administrator. This is the defining feature of Mac. Centralized control by the admin, not the user. This is the defining feature of Mac. A centralized control by the admin, not the user. D sounds similar, but it's but isn't the best. True in practice, but it's not the key emphasis of Mac. It doesn't highlight the restriction on everyone else. True, the system administrator can change the access controls. Okay, one more question. Faking the sender address in a transmission to gain illegal entry into a secure system is I marked the correct answer. Spoofing. Explain each. So, phishing is a social engineering attack where attackers trick people into revealing credentials or clicking malicious links. An email pretending to be from a bank asking you to verify your account. Address resolution protocol. What it is? A protocol that maps IP addresses to MAC addresses in a local network. Attack. ARP spoofing. An attacker sends fake ARP messages to trick devices into sending traffic to the wrong MAC address. It's a type of spoofing, but the general term is still spoofing. Spoofing, pretending to be another device, user, or system by falsifying data. Example, IP spoofing, fake source IP email spoofing, fake sender email. Pretending to be another device spoofing, right? And the question was faking the sender address in a transmission to gain illegal entry into a secure system, faking the sender address. Okay, the last question. What is the difference between hub and a switch? Whew. A hub is less likely to be used in home network. A switch retransmits traffic to all devices, while a hub route traffic to specific devices. A hub retransmits traffic to all devices, while a switch route traffic to a specific device. I would go with this answer. A hub can create separate broadcast domains when used to create VLAN. No. Yes, the correct answer is a hub retransmits traffic to all devices, while a switch route traffic to a specific device. Yeah, hub just retransmits everything. Hub just retransmits everything. Hub works at OSI layer, physical layer 1. Doesn't understand addresses like MAC or IP. Just retransmits everything it receives on one port to all other ports. Example, if one PC sends data, every other PC connected to the hub sees it. Works at OSI layer 2. Uses MAC addresses to decide where to send traffic. Switch uses MAC addresses. Right. That's correct. Routes traffic only to the specific device port that needs it. If PC1 sends data to PC2, only PC3 gets it. Faster, more efficient, and more secure than a hub. Hub, dumb broadcaster, shouts to everyone. Switch, smart router inside the network, delivers only to the right person. Alright, time to go to sleep. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Keep learning.